Good Sunday morning to you all. Hopefully you're having a good day so far. We got Watchmen updates that are super important to keep you ahead of the curve. Some big things happening out there. One of the things I'm hearing a bunch of the Watchmen out there talking about is the new flock cameras. If you're not aware of what these cameras are that are going up in public and how they're invading your privacy, you do need to hear these reports. The WHO, the World Health Organization, is in dire straits after the United States cuts its funding. Turns out we're funding most of it. They may have to cut some of their agenda-based programs. Artificial intelligence is replacing even more roles and positions. We have the latest here. The UK, or the British, are going full dystopian crazy, arresting parents while letting murderers walk free. Disney is now under a federal investigation for racist hiring practices. And we have a Canadian explaining how bad the Canadian healthcare system really is. And we got a report from a Watchman explaining a great way to keep food cold without power. That and a whole bunch of other Watchmen updates. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade. And these are your updates that you guys are sending in from all over. Please do keep your reports coming in. Make sure you use the word update somewhere in your comment. That gets it to the right place. We do want to thank our sponsor, Genesis Gold Group. Jonathan and his team over in California are doing a great job helping people look over their retirement accounts and see if they want to move some or all of their retirement into physical metals to safeguard it against any kind of market declines. Gold and silver are doing quite well out there, especially this year. So if you want to find out more about that, they'd love to share information with you and help educate you, answer your questions, and see if it's a good fit for you. If you want to find out more, there'll be a link at the end of the video. All right, the Russian FSB, which is basically the old KGB with a new name, is now in Serbia to probe alleged use of sonic weapons against crowds of protesters. Now, Russia actively supports the Serbian government, so don't get your hopes up too much for anything of substance from these reports. But that just goes to show how much of a criticism that Serbia is getting for deploying these type of weapons against crowds of protesters. Kind of reminds me back in the day of Egypt using the camels to plow through the crowds during the protests on the squares down in Egypt during the Arab color revolutions. The FCC, the Federal Communications Commission or whatever, is now investigating Disney and ABC. Disney owns ABC, so for potential violations in racist diversity hiring practices. This could be a very big deal. Probably won't damage them quite as much as the Snow White movie, but this may be a further nail in the coffin for the Disney company. Hopefully someone will finally buy Disney and actually turn it back to its roots and rip out all this DEI and all sorts of woke nonsense that they've shoved into this company. I don't know about you guys, but if Disney were to just get back to its traditional roots of just telling wholesome family stories and cartoons and having wonderful theme parks that are magical at fairly reasonable prices, if they got back to that, I think we could all kind of get behind them, couldn't we? The WHO, the World Health Organization, is now going to have to cut its budget by at least a fifth and possibly even more. 20%, just because the United States has pulled out its funding, and it will be even worse next year. Just goes to show how much the entire world is just basically depending on the United States alone to fund everything. The WHO, the UN, refugee things around the world. The United States just forks over hundreds of billions of dollars to everybody around the world, and most countries are just freeloading off of the good graces and the free money from the United States. How often do other countries give the United States money when we have problems? And the answer is never. They never give money to the United States. Britain is looking to ink some post-Brexit trade deals with the United States and Trump in order to avoid tariffs. This could be a major win for the Trump administration. He's threatening reciprocal tariffs, and if the UK actually makes a smart choice here and lowers its tariffs against the United States, they may face low tariffs or non-existent tariffs by the United States against them, which would allow them to have basically a free trade deal with the United States. I don't understand why this is so difficult for other countries. Like, they're getting bent out of shape that the United States is about to hit them with a bunch of reciprocal tariffs. Well, the answer is simple. Just lower your tariffs, and then the United States won't have tariffs against you. But the problem is these countries have been freeloading off the United States, and they just don't like being treated the way they've been treating us. That really reveals a lot of character, doesn't it? Imagine having a friend that has treated you horribly for a long time, and you start treating them in the same way that they're treating you, and they get super bent out of shape about it. And it's like, yeah, but you've been doing that to us, haven't you? Bill Gates, a very good source of information. Well, when it comes to world domination and everything like that, that's basically what he's doing. So sometimes it's good to listen to what he's saying about what he's doing to us. He says, artificial intelligence will replace doctors and teachers in 10 years. Humans won't be needed for most things anymore. That's where they're trying to take us. Once again, a dystopian view of the future. Speaking of dystopian views of the future, 6 British police officers, 6 of them, took 6 of them, they arrested a disabled student's parents for complaining about the school's hiring process of the new head teacher. They were doing this on WhatsApp, having a WhatsApp group where they were complaining about the hiring practices. And because of this, 6 British police officers show up at their home and arrest them. Absolutely insane what's happening over in the UK. Can't even say anything without the police showing up. You can assault minors. You can murder people with knives and stuff, and the police won't show up. But heaven forbid you get on social media and say things that you ought not to. And they will show up and lock you up. You get lower criminal penalties for assaulting minors than you do for speaking out about people assaulting minors. It's absolutely upside down world over there. Our prayers are with the people of the UK having to put up with this insanity. Friends, you need to get your house in order, please. Please. Granite Moss says, on the subject of cameras, look up the flock cameras. I did. These not only read plates on all cars that pass, they identify vehicles by appearance, including things like damage and decorations. No plate reading needed to ID and track you, even if you have your plates covered up. My sibling was telling me just the other day of how some places in Maine are installing them. A disturbing number of places across the United States are installing these flock cameras. The idea is they put up a whole bunch of these solar powered cameras all over the place, and they just basically log every vehicle that goes by. And this is there to prevent crime, they're saying. So it's like the Minority Report, future crime, stopping that. And they do hold all license plates and car identification for 30 days, which puts it at the disposal of the local police, as well as state and national police as well. It's just a society of cameras watching our every moves. Gail says, upstate New York, just heard on our local news that we now have bird flu in our bobcats. A bobcat was seen on a game trail camera in the woods behind my house. Cornell did a study by trapping about 15 bobcats, testing them, and putting tracking collars on them that fall off to see about the bird flu. Jacqueline says there's a local chicken company called House of Rayford. They have truck sales in North Carolina and a few locations in South Carolina. You order online and then meet the truck at the designated town. You pick the location. It's bulk sales. Been buying them from years. Antibiotic free. Good quality stuff. Be looking for who is selling good quality meat, good quality chicken, good quality eggs in your area. Healthy food is worth the cost. It really is, if at all possible. Peter says the Canadian medical system is more than broken. It's downright destroyed. I know, I'm from Canada. Can't even see your doctor. Ain't seen one in over 2 years. Don't have one anymore. Don't have a primary care doctor. And the lack of services, MRI machines or anything else, it's just unreal. You'll most likely die before you ever see the inside of these facilities. JT says, as of yesterday, all 6 of my spouses and my doctors have left Health First in Florida. We had seen most for over 20 years. My spouse's primary is starting his own practice and requiring a $2,500 annual fee to retain his services. A bunch of doctors are fleeing the insurance practices and setting up these fee-based, subscription-based services where you get a primary care doctor and you pay a fee, and then you can see the doctor as many times as you need to during the course of the year. It doesn't help you with like surgeries or big stuff, but at least you're your primary care doctor. A lot of doctors are moving this way because they just are done dealing with insurance companies. It's been a challenge to find replacements, and the majority listed on our government insurance have foreign names. These changes are very concerning. Jen says all state commercial insurance is not renewing any of their contracts in the whole state of Idaho. No reason, just they won't. But they did take my yearly payment, didn't they? So what disaster is coming to Idaho? Allstate 3 years ago canceled homeowners insurance because we have trees in our yard. So many people no longer have home insurance. I'm in the mountains, and for 30 years the trees have been in my yard. The insurance company in 30 years finally canceled it for that very reason, just having trees. 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks after they did that, fires started in parts of Idaho. It's like they all know something's coming, you know, and like all the insurance companies are like, yeah, we're not going to insure this area anymore. It's almost like a warning that something bad's about to happen. Garden Gnome says, another sign of shrinkflation. We get free empty buckets from the bakery department at our local grocery store. The large 5-gallon buckets are now 4.25-gallon buckets. Just imagine all that icing and all the other stuff in there. They're just smaller buckets now of supplies that the bakeries are getting. J-Rod says, I currently live in Lubbock, Texas, and they are installing license plate readers and extra cameras. I read an article that Oklahoma is also installing flock cameras. This is going up all over the place, friends. Be aware of what's going on in your neighborhood. Learning Functioning says, my husband and I were at Costco just last week, and we noticed that it looked like they were hoarding paper towels. We both thought it was really weird. The paper towels were everywhere, and very little toilet paper. Well, maybe we just use it as toilet paper, right? But a ton of paper towels. They had pallets of paper towels in areas where they normally don't have them. And the area where they do have them, it was packed just about with only paper towels. Remember, stores always seem to know what is up before the customers do. Michelle says eggs $4.75 a dozen at Aldi in Ohio, limit 2. Still seeing limits on Aldi eggs all across the country. Solatap says, update. For the early spring summertime for the north, I'm not sure if anyone else does this, but I figured I would ask, is it wrong that most people don't think about how to keep food cold once the power goes out? How will we preserve or chill food? My best find so far is an old fridge that doesn't work but can be secured. I got all under $15, burrowed them into a small hill facing the north for accessibility into the backyard. I have 4 or so now for produce and fresh items, so just burying it into the hillside. I am looking into buying an 8 by 20 shipping container to do the same thing, but just on a bigger scale. So basically a root cellar, right? You can create a root cellar by digging into a hillside or digging into the ground and then putting your vegetables and fruit and other things that need to be kept cool in your root cellar. But over the years, I have seen higher temperatures in the soil. So I'm thinking about planting squash, pumpkins, and zucchini on the hills to keep the ground cooler. I was just wondering if anyone else has been doing this. Root cellars are a really good idea. I've wanted to put a big root cellar in my backyard myself. It also can double as like a tornado shelter or bunker of some sort. Bella says, Kentucky, for those with pets, use Chewy. Now, this isn't sponsored or anything like that, but someone thinks it's a great idea. You get it delivered free with pretty low threshold to get it. If you do auto orders, you also get a discount. We haven't had a single problem getting what we need, and if something is damaged in transit, they refund some or, if not all, of the money on that item. I haven't hauled any pet food or litter from the grocery store in years. We highly recommend them. So take that for what it's worth. If you have pets and you need to get that kind of stuff, might be that's a good option for you. Also, Walmart does deliveries. So if you sign up for the Walmart delivery thing, they'll deliver not only food, but they'll also deliver things like pet food and that kind of stuff straight to your house too. That's another thought if you're already doing that. All right, friends, thanks so much for watching. If you want to get some more information from Genesis Gold about what you can do with your retirement account, there's a link right there. Just fill out your information and they'll get back to you. If you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right up here. And I'll see you guys tomorrow as we continue our study through the book of Nehemiah over on the Poplar Bible Study channel. Until then, I'll see you guys later. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report out.